Here's a Simon Sinek inspired introduction that focuses on purpose, reflection, and mindset rather than imitation of his exact words. Before I begin, I want to ask you a simple question. Why do some people face failure, rejection, and setbacks and still keep moving forward, while others give up after the first obstacle? The difference is rarely talent, it's rarely luck, and it's almost never intelligence. The difference is mindset. You see, success doesn't start with what you do. Success starts with how you think. Long before you achieve a goal, build a business, earn respect, or create impact, you must first win the battle inside your own mind. Because every great achievement begins with a belief that growth is possible, a belief that challenges are opportunities, a belief that your current circumstances do not define your future. Today, we're going to explore how to build a strong, positive mindset for success, not by ignoring difficulties, but by developing the mental strength to rise above them. Because when you change the way you think, you change the way you act. And when you change the way you act, you change the direction of your life. So if you're ready to unlock your potential and discover the mindset that separates dreamers from achievers, then stay with me. Let's begin. Every meaningful achievement begins with a reason. Before people commit to a goal, before they develop discipline, before they push through obstacles, there is something deeper driving them forward. That deeper force is their why. It is the purpose behind their actions, the reason they get out of bed in the morning, and the answer to the question of why their goals truly matter. Many people focus on what they want. They want success, financial freedom, recognition, better health, or a better future. Others focus on how they will achieve those things. They create plans, strategies, schedules, and routines. But the most important question often gets ignored. Why do you want it? Why does it matter to you? Why is it worth your effort, sacrifice, and commitment? When your reason is weak, your motivation becomes weak. When challenges appear, excuses become stronger than your determination. The moment things become uncomfortable, it becomes easy to quit because there is nothing powerful enough pulling you forward. A person without a strong reason can be distracted by every obstacle. A person with a strong reason finds a way through obstacles. Think about the times in your life when you were truly committed to something. Chances are you were not driven by external rewards alone. There was something personal behind your actions. Maybe you wanted to support your family. Maybe you wanted to prove to yourself that you were capable of more. Maybe you wanted to create a better future than the one you inherited. Whatever it was, that reason gave you energy when motivation disappeared. Success is not built on motivation alone because motivation comes and goes. Some days you feel inspired, and some days you do not. Some mornings you wake up excited, and other mornings you wake up tired, frustrated, or uncertain. If your progress depends entirely on motivation, your progress will always be inconsistent. Purpose creates consistency because purpose remains even when motivation fades. A clear why gives direction to your decisions. It acts like a compass when life becomes confusing. Opportunities, distractions, and challenges appear every day. Without a clear purpose, it is difficult to know where to focus your time and energy. People often spend years chasing goals that look impressive to others but bring little satisfaction because those goals are not connected to a meaningful purpose. Many individuals spend their lives pursuing things they think they should want. They chase titles, money, status, and approval because society tells them these things represent success. Yet when they achieve them, they often feel empty. The reason is simple. They pursued someone else's definition of success instead of discovering their own purpose. Your why must be personal. It cannot be borrowed from another person. It cannot be copied from a motivational quote. It cannot be based solely on what others expect from you. A powerful why comes from your values, experiences, dreams, and beliefs. It comes from understanding what truly matters to you. Finding your why requires honesty. It requires asking difficult questions. What kind of life do you want to create? What impact do you want to have on others? What are you willing to struggle for? What would make you proud of the person you become? These questions force you to look beyond temporary rewards and focus on lasting meaning. Purpose also transforms the way you view setbacks. When people are focused only on results, failure can feel devastating. A rejection, a mistake, or a delay can make them question whether they should continue. But when people are connected to a deeper purpose, setbacks become part of the journey rather than the end of it. They understand that obstacles are temporary while their reason remains unchanged. History is filled with examples of individuals who achieved extraordinary things not because life was easy for them, but because their purpose was stronger than their difficulties. They faced criticism, uncertainty, failure, and resistance. What allowed them to continue was not endless confidence. It was a clear understanding of why their mission mattered. Purpose creates resilience. It helps people endure challenges that would otherwise seem unbearable. It gives meaning to hard work and transforms sacrifice into investment. When you know why you are doing something, the effort no longer feels pointless. Every step forward becomes connected to something bigger than the immediate moment. A strong positive mindset begins with this understanding. Positive thinking is not pretending that life is perfect. It is not ignoring problems or denying difficulties. True positivity comes from having a reason strong enough to keep moving despite those difficulties. It comes from believing that your efforts matter because they serve a meaningful purpose. When your why is clear, decisions become easier. Discipline becomes stronger. Focus becomes sharper. Fear loses some of its power because your attention shifts from what could go wrong to what is worth fighting for. Instead of being controlled by temporary emotions, you become guided by a lasting sense of purpose. Every goal you pursue should be connected to a reason that inspires you at a deeper level. Every action you take should move you closer to something that truly matters. The stronger your connection to your purpose, the stronger your mindset becomes. A person who knows why they are moving forward develops the strength to continue when others stop, the courage to continue when others doubt, and the determination to continue when others surrender. Every single day, there is a conversation happening inside your mind. It never stops. From the moment you wake up until the moment you fall asleep, a voice is constantly interpreting events, evaluating situations, and shaping the way you see yourself and the world around you. This inner dialogue has more influence over your success than most people realize. Many people believe that their circumstances determine their mindset. They think they feel confident because things are going well, or they feel discouraged because life has become difficult. But often, it is not the situation itself that creates the emotional response. It is the story they tell themselves about the situation. Two people can face the exact same challenge and respond in completely different ways. One person sees failure and thinks, "I am not good enough." The other sees failure and thinks, "I have learned something valuable." The event is the same, but the interpretation is different. The words spoken inside the mind shape the outcome. The quality of your life is deeply connected to the quality of your thoughts. If your inner dialogue is filled with doubt, criticism, and negativity, it becomes difficult to maintain confidence and motivation. When the voice inside your head constantly reminds you of your weaknesses, mistakes, and limitations, it creates invisible barriers that prevent growth. Many people would never speak to a friend the way they speak to themselves. They encourage others when they struggle. They offer understanding when others make mistakes. They remind people of their strengths during difficult moments. Yet, when it comes to themselves, they become their own harshest critics. Every mistake becomes proof of inadequacy. Every setback becomes evidence of failure. The problem with negative self-talk is not simply that it feels unpleasant. The real problem is that the mind begins to believe it. Repeated thoughts become beliefs, and beliefs influence actions. If you constantly tell yourself that you are incapable, you begin to act as though you are incapable. If you constantly tell yourself that success is beyond your reach, you stop taking the actions that could bring success closer. Your mind is always listening to the words you repeat. Whether those words are positive or negative, encouraging or discouraging, empowering or limiting, they leave an impact. The thoughts you practice every day become the lens through which you see your future. Controlling your inner dialogue does not mean pretending that everything is perfect. It does not mean ignoring weaknesses or refusing to acknowledge challenges. Real growth requires honesty. The goal is not to replace reality with fantasy. The goal is to replace destructive thinking with constructive thinking. Instead of saying, "I can't do this," you can ask, "What skills do I need to develop?" Instead of saying, "I always fail," you can ask, "What can I learn from this experience?" Instead of saying, "I am not good enough," you can remind yourself, "I am still growing and improving." The difference may seem small, but the impact is enormous. Constructive thoughts create possibilities. Destructive thoughts create limitations. One approach opens doors while the other closes them. Your inner dialogue also influences how you respond to uncertainty. Whenever people attempt something new, fear naturally appears. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of criticism, and fear of the unknown are common experiences. During these moments, the conversation inside your mind becomes especially important. Some people allow fear to dominate their thinking. They focus on everything that could go wrong. They imagine worst-case scenarios. They convince themselves that taking action is too risky. As a result, they remain stuck in the same place. Others acknowledge fear but refuse to let it control their decisions. Their inner dialogue reminds them that growth often requires discomfort. They understand that confidence is not the absence of fear. Confidence is the willingness to move forward despite fear. The most successful individuals are not necessarily the people with the fewest doubts. They are often the people who have learned how to manage those doubts. They recognize negative thoughts without allowing those thoughts to define their identity or determine their actions. Awareness is the first step toward controlling your inner dialogue. You cannot change thoughts that you do not notice. Many negative beliefs operate automatically because they have been repeated for years. They become mental habits. To break those habits, you must begin paying attention to the language you use when speaking to yourself. Listen carefully to your thoughts during difficult moments. Notice how you respond when things do not go according to plan. Pay attention to the assumptions you make about yourself. Observe whether your thoughts are helping you move forward or holding you back. Once you become aware of those patterns, you gain the power to challenge them. Not every thought deserves to be believed. Not every fear deserves your attention. Not every criticism deserves a permanent place in your mind. A strong, positive mindset is built through consistent mental discipline. Just as physical strength develops through repeated exercise, mental strength develops through repeated practice. Every time you replace a limiting belief with a constructive perspective, you strengthen your mindset. Every time you choose encouragement over self-criticism, you build resilience. Every time you focus on possibilities instead of limitations, you create a foundation for growth. The voice inside your head becomes the companion that travels with you through every challenge, every opportunity, every success, and every setback. It influences how you see yourself, how you interpret events, and how you respond to adversity. When that voice becomes supportive, constructive, and growth-oriented, it begins to work for you instead of against you. The conversation happening inside your mind becomes one of the most powerful forces shaping your future. Every person wants success, but very few people want the challenges that come with it. We admire successful individuals for their achievements, yet we often overlook the obstacles they faced along the way. We celebrate the victories, but ignore the struggles, setbacks, failures, and disappointments that made those victories possible. The reality is that challenges are not barriers standing between you and success. In many cases, challenges are the path to success. Life has a way of testing every goal, every dream, and every commitment. No matter how talented, intelligent, or determined you are, difficulties will appear. Plans will fail. Opportunities will be lost. Mistakes will happen. People will doubt you. Circumstances will change. There will be moments when the road ahead seems uncertain and the destination feels far away. The difference between those who achieve their goals and those who give up is often found in how they interpret these difficult moments. Some people see challenges as proof that they should stop. Others see challenges as opportunities to learn, adapt, and become stronger. A challenge by itself is neither positive nor negative. It is simply an event. The meaning comes from the perspective you choose to apply to it. When you view a challenge as a threat, fear begins to take control. When you view a challenge as an opportunity, growth begins to take place. Think about the skills you possess today. Most of them were not developed during easy moments. They were developed through effort, mistakes, and persistence. Confidence is not built when everything goes according to plan. Confidence is built when you face uncertainty and discover that you can handle it. Strength is not created through comfort. Strength is created through resistance. Imagine someone learning to ride a bicycle. Falling is part of the process. The falls are not evidence that learning is impossible. They are evidence that learning is happening. Every mistake provides information. Every attempt builds experience. Every setback contains a lesson that moves the person closer to success. The same principle applies to every area of life. In business, failure teaches lessons that success often cannot. In relationships, misunderstandings create opportunities for growth and understanding. In personal development, challenges reveal weaknesses that can be improved. Difficulties often expose areas where learning and growth are needed. Many people become discouraged because they expect progress to be smooth. They believe that if they are moving in the right direction, everything should become easier. But growth rarely follows a straight line. Progress often includes obstacles, delays, and unexpected problems. These experiences are not signs that you are failing. They are signs that you are participating in the process of growth. One of the most dangerous habits is viewing every challenge as a permanent condition. When something goes wrong, people often convince themselves that things will never improve. They take temporary setbacks and turn them into permanent conclusions. A single failure becomes, I always fail. A rejection becomes, I am not good enough. A delay becomes, my dream will never happen. Successful people think differently. They understand that challenges are temporary. They recognize that today's obstacle does not define tomorrow's outcome. They focus on solutions rather than becoming trapped by problems. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? They ask, what can this teach me? That simple shift in perspective changes everything. It transforms frustration into curiosity. It transforms disappointment into learning. It transforms obstacles into opportunities for improvement. Challenges also reveal character. It is easy to remain positive when everything is going well. It is easy to feel confident when success comes quickly. The true test of mindset appears when circumstances become difficult. Adversity reveals whether your beliefs are strong enough to survive uncertainty. Every challenge presents a choice. You can allow the situation to weaken your confidence, or you can use the experience to strengthen your resilience. You can focus on what you have lost, or you can focus on what you can gain. You can become discouraged by obstacles, or you can become determined because of them. History provides countless examples of individuals who transform challenges into opportunities. Many entrepreneurs experienced repeated failures before building successful businesses. Many athletes faced defeats before becoming champions. Many leaders encountered rejection before earning respect and recognition. Their success stories were shaped not by the absence of challenges, but by their response to challenges. The truth is that some of life's greatest opportunities arrive disguised as difficulties. A setback may force you to develop a new skill. A failure may reveal a better direction. A disappointment may strengthen your determination. A challenge may introduce you to strengths you never knew you possessed. Growth often begins at the edge of discomfort. The moment you face something difficult is often the moment you have the greatest opportunity to evolve. Challenges force you to think differently, act differently, and become different. They demand adaptation, creativity, patience, and perseverance. When you begin to see challenges through this lens, your relationship with adversity changes. Instead of asking how to avoid difficulties, you begin asking how to learn from them. Instead of fearing obstacles, you begin recognizing their potential value. Instead of viewing setbacks as evidence that success is impossible, you begin seeing them as part of the journey toward success. Every challenge carries within it the possibility of growth. Every obstacle contains a lesson waiting to be discovered. Every difficult experience has the potential to develop qualities that comfort and convenience can never create. The ability to turn challenges into opportunities is not a talent reserved for a select few. It is a mindset, a choice, and a skill that can be developed through consistent practice and a willingness to see possibility where others see only problems. Many people believe that success is created by big decisions, dramatic moments, or sudden breakthroughs. They imagine that one day they will wake up feeling motivated, inspired, and ready to transform their lives. But the truth is that lasting success is rarely built through extraordinary actions. It is built through ordinary actions repeated consistently over time. The habits you practice every day shape your mindset, influence your decisions, and determine the direction of your future. A positive mindset is not something that appears automatically. It is not a personality trait that some people are born with while others are not. A strong mindset is developed through daily habits that train the mind to think, respond, and grow in productive ways. Just as physical fitness requires regular exercise, mental fitness requires consistent practice. Every habit you follow sends a message to your mind. Some habits strengthen confidence, discipline, and resilience. Other habits strengthen doubt, negativity, and distraction. Whether you realize it or not, your daily routines are constantly shaping the way you think. Consider the impact of the first hour of your day. Many people begin their mornings by immediately checking social media, reading negative news, or reacting to external distractions. Before they have even taken control of their thoughts, they have allowed outside influences to determine their emotional state. As a result, they begin the day feeling overwhelmed, distracted, or mentally exhausted. Others approach their mornings differently. They create habits that prepare their minds for success. They spend time reflecting on their goals, practicing gratitude, reading something valuable, exercising, or planning their priorities. These actions may seem small, but they create momentum. They establish a positive mental direction before the challenges of the day begin. One of the most powerful habits for strengthening your mindset is gratitude. Human beings naturally focus on problems because the brain is designed to identify threats and challenges. While this ability is important for survival, it can also cause people to overlook the positive aspects of their lives. Gratitude trains the mind to recognize opportunities, progress, and blessings that might otherwise go unnoticed. This does not mean ignoring difficulties or pretending that problems do not exist. It means choosing to acknowledge both challenges and opportunities. When gratitude becomes a habit, it shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, from frustration to appreciation, and from negativity to possibility. Another important habit is continuous learning. People with strong mindsets understand that growth never stops. They do not assume they already know everything. Instead, they remain curious and open to improvement. They read books, listen to educational content, learn from mentors, and seek new experiences. Learning expands perspective. It introduces new ideas, challenges limiting beliefs, and provides tools for solving problems. Every piece of knowledge gained becomes another resource that can help you navigate future challenges. A growing mind is less likely to become trapped by fear because it recognizes that solutions often exist beyond current understanding. The habit of self-reflection is equally important. Many people move through life without taking time to examine their thoughts, actions, and decisions. They repeat the same mistakes because they never pause long enough to learn from them. Reflection creates awareness. It allows you to evaluate what is working, identify areas for improvement, and make intentional adjustments. A few minutes of honest reflection each day can reveal valuable insights. You begin to recognize patterns in your thinking. You notice behaviors that support your goals and behaviors that undermine them. You become more intentional about the person you are becoming. Discipline is another habit that strengthens the mind. Many people wait until they feel motivated before taking action. The problem is that motivation is unpredictable. Some days it appears naturally and other days it does not. If progress depends entirely on motivation, consistency becomes impossible. Discipline creates a different approach. It teaches you to take action even when enthusiasm is absent. It allows you to honor commitments regardless of temporary emotions. Every time you follow through on a promise to yourself, you strengthen self-trust. You prove that your actions are not controlled by convenience or comfort. Small acts of discipline create powerful long-term results. Waking up on time, completing important tasks, maintaining healthy routines, and staying committed to personal growth may seem insignificant in the moment. However, these actions accumulate over time and shape both character and mindset. The people you spend time with also influence your mental habits. Human beings absorb attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors from their environment. If you are constantly surrounded by negativity, criticism, and pessimism, maintaining a positive mindset becomes more difficult. The opposite is also true. Positive, growth-oriented individuals can inspire better thinking, stronger habits, and greater confidence. This does not mean avoiding everyone who faces difficulties or struggles. It means being intentional about the influences you allow into your life. Conversations, relationships, books, media, and social environments all contribute to your mental development. Physical health plays a significant role in mental strength as well. Sleep, nutrition, and exercise are often viewed as physical concerns, but they have a profound impact on mindset. A tired mind struggles to remain focused and optimistic. A healthy body supports mental clarity, emotional stability, and resilience. Exercise, in particular, teaches valuable lessons about growth. Progress in fitness requires patience, consistency, and effort. Results do not appear immediately. The same principle applies to personal development. Every day of consistent effort may seem small, but over time those efforts create significant transformation. Strong habits also help during difficult seasons of life. When challenges arise, emotions can become unpredictable. Motivation may disappear. Confidence may be tested. During these moments, habits provide stability. They keep you moving forward even when circumstances become uncertain. They create structure when life feels chaotic. A strong positive mindset is not built through occasional inspiration. It is built through repeated actions that strengthen mental resilience, emotional stability, and personal growth. Every positive habit becomes a brick in the foundation of your mindset. Every disciplined action strengthens your ability to overcome obstacles. Every intentional choice shapes the person you are becoming. The routines you practice each day eventually become the beliefs you hold, the character you develop, and the results you achieve. Human beings are deeply influenced by their environment. Whether we realize it or not, the people around us shape our thoughts, beliefs, attitudes, and behaviors. The conversations we engage in, the advice we listen to, and the energy we absorb from others all play a significant role in the development of our mindset. This is why surrounding yourself with positive influences is one of the most important steps in building a strong and successful life. Many people focus entirely on personal discipline and self-motivation, believing that success depends only on individual effort. While personal responsibility is essential, no one develops in complete isolation. Every person is affected by the people they spend time with. The attitudes of those around you can either strengthen your confidence or weaken it, encourage growth or promote stagnation, inspire action or create doubt. Think about the people you interact with most frequently. Consider the conversations you have with them. Do they encourage you to pursue your goals, or do they constantly focus on limitations? Do they inspire you to become a better version of yourself? Or do they encourage habits that keep you stuck in the same place? Do they celebrate growth, or do they criticize ambition? The answers to these questions reveal a great deal about the environment that is shaping your mindset. Positive influences do not necessarily mean people who agree with everything you say. They are not individuals who tell you that every idea is perfect or that every decision is correct. True positive influences challenge you to grow. They encourage accountability. They provide honest feedback while still believing in your potential. They inspire improvement without destroying confidence. One of the greatest advantages of surrounding yourself with positive people is the power of perspective. Every person experiences challenges, disappointments, and setbacks. During difficult moments, it is easy to become trapped inside your own negative thoughts. A positive influence can help you see possibilities that you may have overlooked. They can remind you of your strengths when you focus only on your weaknesses. They can offer encouragement when your confidence begins to fade. This is important because mindset is often shaped by repeated exposure. If you constantly hear messages of doubt, fear, and negativity, those messages begin to influence the way you think. Over time, they become part of your internal dialogue. On the other hand, if you regularly hear messages of growth, resilience, and possibility, those ideas begin to influence your thinking as well. The people around you often establish what feels normal. If your environment is filled with individuals who avoid responsibility, complain constantly, and settle for less than they are capable of achieving, those behaviors may begin to seem acceptable. If your environment is filled with people who pursue growth, embrace learning, and strive for excellence, those behaviors become the standard. This does not mean you should judge others or view yourself as superior. Every person is on their own journey. However, it does mean that you should be intentional about the influences that have regular access to your mind. Just as you protect your physical health by making wise choices about what you consume, you should protect your mental health by making wise choices about the influences you allow into your life. Positive influences can come from many different sources. They may come from family members who encourage your growth. They may come from friends who support your goals. They may come from mentors who share valuable wisdom and experience. They may come from teachers, coaches, leaders, or colleagues who inspire you through their actions and character, even if you do not currently have access to a strong support network. Positive influences can still be found through books, educational content, podcasts, interviews, and personal development resources. Throughout history, countless individuals have learned valuable lessons from people they never met personally. The ideas you expose yourself to become part of your mental environment. One of the challenges many people face is dealing with negativity from others. Sometimes criticism comes from individuals who do not understand your goals. Sometimes people project their own fears onto your ambitions. They may discourage you because they doubt what is possible. They may question your decisions because they are uncomfortable with change. They may focus on risks while ignoring opportunities. Learning how to respond to negativity is an important part of maintaining a positive mindset. Not every criticism should be ignored. Constructive feedback can provide valuable insights and help you improve. However, there is a difference between constructive criticism and persistent negativity. One aims to help you grow, the other aims to discourage action. Strong-minded individuals learn to evaluate feedback carefully. They listen with an open mind, but do not allow every opinion to determine their direction. They understand that other people's doubts do not have to become their own beliefs. They remain committed to their goals while staying willing to learn and improve. Another benefit of positive influences is accountability. Growth often requires consistency, and consistency can be difficult to maintain alone. Positive people help reinforce productive habits and encourage continued progress. They remind you of your commitments when distractions appear. They challenge you to stay focused on what matters most. Supportive relationships also provide encouragement during difficult times. Every journey includes moments of frustration and uncertainty. During those periods, a positive influence can provide strength, perspective, and reassurance. They help you remember why you started and why continuing forward is worthwhile. The environment you create around yourself has a powerful impact on the future you build. Every conversation, relationship, and influence contributes to the development of your mindset. Positive influences encourage growth, strengthen confidence, and expand possibilities. They inspire action, reinforce resilience, and support continuous improvement. The people and ideas you choose to surround yourself with today will play a significant role in shaping the person you become tomorrow, the beliefs you carry into the future, and the level of success you ultimately achieve.